Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Drew, and I am playing games today on my laptop, and I'm playing Townscaper. And I built this village the other day and had a lot of fun making it. And I thought I would add a huge garden area, even though this big castle right here already has a beautiful garden. You can kind of see it. I do want some garden area for the public. And these little houses and condos that live around the outside of this big castle, they should have access to some beautiful gardens. So I'm going to build a beautiful garden out here. And they're going to walk to it on this pier. So now let's just build as big a garden area as possible. Now what I'm going to do with this garden is make the walls quite big. This is just for the people that come off that pier. And to make the garden with a path around the perimeter of it, you have to make it at least 2 stories tall, the wall. If you don't, you can just have a low garden, but you won't have any houses that can live around it, and you won't have this cool arch that gets built as soon as you do it. I'll show you what I mean when we get started. And if you're new to Townscaper, it's a sandbox building game based on kind of a Zen vibe where building is not dependent on cash or people or anything like that. It's just pure fun and no constraints. What's also cool about the game is that you can be building something, and based on the first thing you build, the first plot you put down, the next one can change based on all kinds of different things, based on how high it is. Let's make sure we're using the right color. So is that the right color? Yeah. Okay. So we're going to go too tall on this. Well, I'll put the too tall now. I'll tell you why in a minute. Or you'll see what I mean when we get to it. It is my afternoon. I don't know what you're doing, but I'm on a diet. Because I'm of a certain... There it is. That's what happens when you enclose things. And what you can do is you can make a hole here. Let me click that again. You can make a passage with a very interesting, nice archway like that. That arch doesn't happen if it's not 2-story. So that's why it's got to be 2-story. It doesn't have to be 2-story all the way around, but I'm going to make it 2-story at least on this side. There. 2-story on this side. The other side doesn't have to be 2-story. Now, what's another cool thing is if you want to make a path that goes all the way across, you have to go 2-story in order to make a hole. It just doesn't happen very well on those corner buildings. So let's see what happens if I put it there. There. We got a cool path. Now, if I want, I can go ahead and enclose the entire thing in order to make paths that intersect in the middle. See if I can find... There, see what I mean? Oh, isn't that nice? Now there's going to be a few people who live inside here, but they are caretakers and grounds people probably. That's neat. I like that. There, that's a grounds person's little hut. There's his front door. And then, actually, we'll give him a little. There, he's got a little garden top up there on top. That's a nice way in. That's cute. We'll even make it like that. We could go like this. Boink! There. Isn't that a creative little establishment? He's got quite the house. There's no door in there. We need to make a door. There. The door is over there. Okay, that's the caretaker's house. Caretakers as in multiple caretakers. There's multiple people who live inside this beautiful garden and take care of it. But there's one thing that's missing from this garden, and that's a fountain. I want a fountain, so I'm going to close that and put it there, and that makes it follow a particular line. See what I mean about Townscaper? One thing, you do something, and then 10 different things could happen based on what you do next. And it's just a cheerful game. I'm going to put a little pier out here. That's just for the people who want to come out and maybe dock their boat. We'll put a dock on either side. There, they can dock their boats. This isn't a place where anything happens other than walk over to the garden because you're part of this little group over here. This little group of houses and condos. It just belongs to them. Let's give whoops. You know what I mean? What happens? If you do one thing wrong, there. Okay. Make this a little more interesting back here. That's quite interesting. No, I don't like that. I like that. Just interesting architecture. Okay, so garden, private garden access for the people who live there. But remember, these people who come in here, there's a whole group of people who live and work here. I don't like to call them servants because I really don't know what time of the world this is. This could be a time or place in history or future where there aren't servants, there's just staff. And that's where they live, up inside the walls of this building. That's where the staff live. Actually, the staff could have a special little area all of their own right in there. That's their patio. There. Well, actually, we'll put a little tear up now. That's cute. That's their personal little patio back there where they have breakfast, coffee in the morning, have a couple of meetings, and figure out the day. Okay, now that I've done that, I think it's time to build more houses. And that's over here. Now that's the way into the working part of the village. This is this is a kind of a military area over here. I'm not sure what I'm calling this. Military, as in, is probably is a fort village because there's a great big castle. The king and queen, or whatever, however they describe themselves, come out of this little place right here and come say hi to everybody. And this is where everybody goes to do their commerce and stuff. Ships come in here. There's some houses over here, but mostly this is buildings and stores and huts and places where you can buy stuff. Back over here is where we're going to add more houses. I think I want to have the same size. Little ones on the perimeter and condos in the middle. So we'll do a little house there. No. There. Here. Here. There. That's nice. Little houses. Now in the middle. Actually, I think I want to have little houses in the middle too. Yeah, I like little houses in the middle. I mean, you can see the staircase here. If you're talking small, we're talking about tiny houses here. And that's nice. I like those. Okay. Where are we? Do we make bigger houses over here on this side of this? Yeah, we do. Let's make bigger houses over here. Not a lot. This video is only going to be about 30 minutes or so. I want you to watch and play along, of course, but let's not go crazy. Alright, big houses here. There's one. There's another one. If you build something like that, you sometimes tend to want to put little things between them. I like to have a little character, so we'll make them look like that. And this one will have an entrance like that there, and this one's entrance will be over here. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There, and their entrance will be here. And their entrance will be there. Actually, I think their entrance should be here. There, everybody's got their own special door. It's nice, but that's not the extent of it. Let's scooch over here and make 2 more, but these are going to be the super rich houses. These are the dignitaries, the ambassadors of the royal court are going to live over here. We're going to do 3 we're going to go higher than that. That's quite the grand house. We're going to have a 3-piece over here too. Yeah, we'll have a 3-piecer over here. Now I'm talking over this particular video when normally I wouldn't be talking, but the channel has to have some commentary. And I'm trying to interact with you folks. So that's why I'm talking over it. Let's put a door there. And a door there. That's nice. Boy, those are some towering condos. I think we need one more. Isn't that a nice sound too? When the people who were designing this game, they said, let's make a clicking noise. Gorgeous. Now see what happens when you put buildings next to each other. Sometimes you get a laundry line that comes across. But you can get rid of it if you do something clever like that. Put a little patio. Now that is a nice patio. Let's put a patio here. Let's give each of these houses a patio. There. And this one's going to need to weigh in. So let's put that weigh in there. There. That's nice. Okay, we got different classes. Let's make this come out a little bit more. I don't want them to be completely isolated like that. But we need to have a balance. Boink, boink, boink. Those are cute little tiny houses. Okay. We're going to do another 3. Let's get rid of that. Okay, here's another 3. A quad, not a quad. What am I talking about? A 9 square. And it's going to be big. There. Let's give them a doorway here. No. I think the doorway should be here. In fact, this could be a bigger house than we think. Let's put another story here. Not that high. There. That's their way in. Wait. There. That's their way in. They got a very nice patio area inside there. They've got quite a large house here. Alright. Well, if we're going to do it, we're going to go all the way. It's bigger than everybody else's. That's nice. Maybe they have a dock of their own. There. For a boat or 3. I like that. What should I call this place? Okay, so the villages. There's tiny houses. There's mid condos. There's what kind of condos are over here? There's little tiny houses. There's even bigger houses over here. The staff, the working class, they got their own place. And they have a nice setting. And they have a nice castle for the king and queen. Or king and king. Or kings. Or just king. Who knows? 2 queens. Doesn't matter. Do you like Townscaper? Are you playing Townscaper? You're playing with me? Maybe you haven't. What's this weird thing? I don't like that. Excuse me. I'm sorry I coughed. I didn't know that was sitting there. Anyway, that was fun. Okay, I'm done with this particular build. I hope you liked the video. Try Townscaper. If you like this video, click like, comment if you want to, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.